Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today it is another trying to fix video. So I was told by a guy called William from the Netherlands that there was a lot for sale in the Netherlands for a garage find of a load of Nintendo Switch parts, and maybe I should have a look at it. And I did have a look at it and I thought, oh, that would be an interesting one. So I'm going to show you the listing first of all, and then I'm going to show you what I actually got and why I am a little bit disappointed. So here is the listing here. I ended up paying €200 for this, including the postage. I was the only person bidding on it, so there wasn't any demand for it. But it just says here, lot Nintendo Switch parts, 3 displays, 4 motherboards, 4 back covers, condition acceptable, loads of pictures and stuff like that. To be fair, I can't fault the seller at all. He posted it all straight away. It is as described. It's just that I was a bit unfortunate with what has actually arrived. So it says here, I bought up a garage storage with several different Nintendo Switch items. It looks like it was from a repair shop. And then it says here, some of the parts he tried to repair from what I can see, but the LCD should be working fine. All parts that you will buy. So we got LCD digitizer, blah blah blah. The most important one there is 4 times motherboard, because everything else are just, as soon as you've tried to fix a few switches and failed, you're going to have all those things anyway. The most important thing here is the motherboard. So it's 4 motherboards. One got a faulty sticker and one has a faulty USB sticker. When they've arrived to me, they haven't got those stickers, so I'm not sure which one has the faulty USB or the faulty sticker. And it just says here, can be picked up in Assen, the Netherlands. So that's good, because I'm sort of thinking, if the seller's willing to do face-to-face with someone, I think they're going to be a more genuine person. You're not going to try to con somebody face-to-face. Well, you might do, but it's less likely, isn't it? So I do believe everything here is genuine. It says, or it must be shipped. I think you can make one switch of these above, but I'm no expert, no guarantee. Sell it as what it is, found in a garage storage I bought. So yeah, I mean, it is exactly as described. I got exactly what was in the pictures. The only problem is, in my mind, and this is just my fault, in my mind I sort of thought that the boards might have been intact, or I thought that maybe, I knew that they would be faulty because it was from a repair shop, but maybe I thought that there might be like a faulty capacitor next to a chip or something like that, in which case then maybe I thought they might not have had the tools and stuff to be changing chips out. As it turns out, every one of these boards have been worked on, and it looks like they've been worked on quite heavily. So some are a lot worse than others. So let's start with one that is essentially here. This looks like it's just junk. So to begin with now, you can see that the battery connector down at the bottom here is completely missing, because this is where you normally connect the battery. And not just that, it's not just missing, the pads have completely gone. There's no evidence of pads there whatsoever. They've all been ripped off. Yeah, not just that, you can see all the burning that's gone on here. This chip's missing here. It's just a mess. Everything seems to be burnt. So this has either been used for practicing, the back looks okay, or it's I don't know how it's been burnt in so many places. That's the thing. It looks like chips have been swapped over. I mean, the only reason it would be burnt down here is if this chip has been swapped over, but then why is this one missing here? So essentially now, is it even worth working on that board? Probably not. Now remember, one of them's got a faulty USB, apparently. So now this one here looks to be better, but it's missing the backlight connector. So again, if somebody was good enough to be taking off a backlight connector, they're probably good enough to know when to change that chip, or the video chip here, which is essentially what I'm going to be doing. So whoever's working on these obviously knows more than me, which is not hard, but I was just hoping that maybe most things were going to be problems with the video chips, or this chip here, or this chip here, but that's not going to be the case in this instance here. As well as that, let me have a look. Hold on now. Oh, look. I won't be able to get any of these working unless I get this one working. Look, you see the SD connector here? It's not on here, and it's not on this one, and it's not on this one. So that's just another sort of nail in the coffin. So we've already got the board there that I showed you. This one here is missing that there. Also, it's missing the video chip here. And it's missing that there. The more oh, and there's another chip missing there as well. So basically, these boards are, you know what, they're not junk. They can be used for spares, but that's exactly what they've been used for already. I'm not going to be able to get these boards working. There's too much going on with them. Let's have a look at this one here. So this one, we're missing the connector for the on and off button. Do you know what? Maybe I could start on this one, but this one looks like it's already had work on the USB. Looks a bit dirty down here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is, with the SD card reader thing, it should still work even without that. Let's plug them in via a USB thing, see if we have anything working on them. I mean, I didn't even spot that SD card reader until now. When I start looking at them closely, there's probably going to be loads of other things missing. Yeah, and other ones have burning going on. So when you look at the connectors, there, this one here, for example, you can see that this connector's burnt here, and also this connector's burnt over here as well. So fair enough, this is burnt because maybe they were trying to take that off. But why is this one burnt here? There's obviously been work done here. So maybe this chip has already been, used or tested for something. Maybe it's faulty. Who knows? Or maybe they just tried to do a reflow. You can see that that chip's missing there. That's a BGA chip. What am I going to do with that? I'm not going to be able to fix that one, am I? Haven't got BGA equipment, and again, I don't know what chips are married to the board or not. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. Essentially, it's a waste of €200 as far as the video is concerned. I will definitely make use of this long term because I can harvest them just like the previous person did for spares. But as far as this video is concerned, it's going to be a non-event. So I think what I'm going to do is just plug the USB connector into each of them just to see if any of them are trying to trickle charge or if there's any chance that they will turn on. And then I think I'll pick one that looks the least damaged, and I'll just be fast forwarding through it all. I'll just try changing different chips and stuff just to see if we can get anything out of it at all. He also sent this little controller just as a freebie in, and it looks like the B button is stuck. This is a USB, so just like a let's call it a fake GameCube controller. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's just that the B button's gone there, but it feels quite quality doesn't feel good in it, so I would say it would be quite a cheap one. But still, it was nice that it was thrown in for free. Right, let's take this over to the blue mat and see if any of them are trying to charge. Right, so I've got my little USB tester here, plugged it into a known working good battery. Let's see if anything's happening. Right, okay, so that one's not even attempting to charge. And that is the one with the missing up here, right? So I'm not sure if I'm going to start with this one because there's a BGA one up here. I'm going to struggle to do anything with that. Right, let's try this one here. Okay, that's trickle charging. Let's see if it goes to 0 and then boots up. Right, so it's not, but that might be a good one to start with. That's the one where the on and off connector here is gone. And also, that is, what else is the matter with this one? SD card one's there. Okay, well, I'm going to put this to one side. That might be a good one. That probably looks like the most fixable out of all of them. But I'll have to get the multimeter out and just check for shorts and stuff. Right, and that one's not doing anything either. Yeah, okay, so we've only got one of them that's even attempting to charge at the moment. So I think I'm going to start on this one. All I'm going to be doing is just fast forwarding through it, and because I've got a feeling this is going to be a complete failure. If I do fix it, I'm going to be recording the whole thing anyway, so then I can show what I did to actually fix it, but I think it's highly unlikely. Let's get started. Right, so this is the one that is showing some signs of trickle charging, but I'm not getting anything out of it. I changed that chip over there, straightened up a capacitor that was loose up here, and I reflowed this and changed that top item there that looked burnt. It's still showing the same thing, where it's just trickle charging. I'm going to leave this one for the time being because if you have a look underneath the APU here, there is a line of shorts on the capacitor. Now, when I've had this before, it showed when I took the APU off, the actual APU was shorted itself. And there is a slight bit of, I think there's signs of water damage, because if I look closely at this connector here, I can see tiny little bits of kind of greeny blue. So maybe this is from a water damage switch. Remember, when it gets cleaned with IPA, it kind of removes a lot of the obvious signs of water damage. As well as that, if you have a look, there's stickers not here. There should be a little water damage sticker thing here. You can see that one there. Okay, that's not what it should look like. It should look like this one here. Okay, so yeah, if you have a look here, it is showing shorts, but I've had people tell me that that's quite normal. As well as that, listen, there's a slight delay. So this is the negative side, so that's fine, the ground side. But look, when I go this side, they're shorting, but look, there is a second delay after I touch it, so that might well be okay. I'm going to leave it for the time being because I don't want to swap every single chip on the board if it turns out to be an APU problem. I'm going to turn my attention to this one here because I think this is quite interesting. So basically on this one, normally when you test this capacitor here, if it's short in both sides, which it is, it says there's a video chip problem. But look, the video chip's been removed. I can't see any solder joins or anything, shorting anything, and yet look, there's still a short here. So obviously there's something before the video chip which is causing it. Now if you have a look at this chip here, this is a little BGA one, there is a shorted capacitor here. So just for the purpose of fun, I'm going to just remove this chip here just to see if it removes the short from down here. Then we know that that's linked to that one there. If not, maybe it's linked somewhere else. So I'm going to use this as a little bit of a learning experience. So I'm going to pop this chip off. Right, so interestingly that capacitor is still shorting, and so is the one down here. So there's something else causing that to short. That's just not that capacitor. Yeah, and it's not that capacitor either. So there's something else linked to them on the board which is causing the short. Taking off different chips to see if I can get rid of that short. So I've taken off that chip now, and that capacitor's still shorting, so it means the capacitors on the other side will still be shorted. Right, the short's still there. Not sure what else to take off. I've taken off near enough all the chips. It's still there. Wow, okay, I'm just going to now, I won't be able to get this board working, but I'm just going to take off all the chips, find out where this short is coming from. I bet it's the APU. Yeah, it's still there. Do you know what? I haven't removed the capacitor on the other side. It's highly unlikely, but I suppose I better do it just in case, because I've removed the other two capacitors. Yeah, the pads are shorting, so the capacitor's fine. I'm going to pop that one back on. Well, I don't know how much of that came across in the camera, but basically I've taken off pretty much every single chip on this board, and yet there still is a short there, and there's still a short here. So I'm thinking it might be the APU, but rather than thinking about it, this board is now junk anyway, let's take it off and let's see if the short disappears. At least then it might help me out with future fixes. So basically then in the future, if you have a short on this capacitor here, and then you take off the video chip and you've still got a short there, then we kind of know not to take it any further if it's a problem with the APU. Right, let's try and remove this. So this is the main NVIDIA chip here. Actually, one thing I haven't done is, let's disconnect that, just to make sure that's not causing it. Oh, it's gone. Hold on now. It's gone. Wow, it's gone. So, this here was put in a short. Let's plug that back in, and now let's see if the short's back. Oh, that would have been an easy one to test at the beginning. Yeah, look. Excellent. Okay, well look, at least I've proved it. I'm happy about that. So that there has nothing to do with any of the other chips. It's got to do with this up here. Now, as far as I know, that is married to this here. And you know what? That does look a bit messy. In fact, it's on crooked. Look, that's not on straight, is it? Right, let's try to reflow this, but that's not going to be successful. But let's give it a go anyway. So whoever was on this board before knew that this was causing the problem, because you can see it's being reflowed. You can see there's a whole row of holes, so it all needs to move along. There we go, so now that's gone into place. But remember, again, BGA, so unlikely. In fact, I can already see a ball sticking out the side here. Yeah, so I'm going to probably have problems with it. Right, let's see if it's shorting now. No, it's not. If only I'd seen that at the very beginning, there would have been a chance that I could have done something with this. Yeah, look, short's gone. Mind you, that short's there. That's still there, that short. Let me just compare it on this board here. Yeah, so we've still got a short up here anyway. But that one's definitely gone. So I still don't know what's causing that one there. Right, so let's unplug this, and now let's see if that short goes from up here. Yes, it does. So this is also linked to this one here. I'm just going to plug it in from another board, but you can't just swap them over apparently, because they need to be, you know, like flashed to the actual board. I think this is the internal memory, the 32 gigabytes. Yeah, okay, so this is testing faulty. Well, I suppose I could take the chip off completely. Just out of curiosity again, not to get this working, but just out of curiosity. I'm happy though, because that means now in future, you know, I've never had a fault with one of these before. So now that I know that that capacitor there and there, and that will help other people as well, because then if you change the video chip and you've still got that short there on that capacitor, you know now to flick this off, or even before doing a video chip, just flick this off. It's easy to take off and see if the fault goes away, and then you know maybe it's not worth changing over that video chip. Right, funny enough, now it's back on. Look, we haven't got the short here, yeah, but yet the short is back here. So it's interesting to know that both that capacitor and that capacitor there are linked to this internal memory here. Right, I'm not going to waste any more time on that because I'm not going to be able to do anything with this internal memory. Also, I've taken all the chips off the board now, BGA and everything, so I'm not going to waste any more time with that one there. So it looks like that one is going to be junk. Which one was I working on earlier? This one here. Annoying thing about this is it's not showing any shorts apart from on this underneath here. I don't think I want to do any more work on this. So what I'm thinking now is, obviously the person who had these definitely knew about them. You know, that had been tried to be reflowed, so it wasn't somebody with zero experience. It looks like they had a lot more experience than someone like myself. So I don't really want to waste that much more time on these because I believe none of them are going to be fixable. Right, so really now this board is my last hope because I already know that all the traces here have gone and I don't know where they go to. Everything's been ripped off. So I presume they go down to maybe different layers in the board. So I am now going to concentrate my efforts on this one here. And with this one here, we have got a short on this capacitor down here. So I'm going to take off this capacitor. And then if that doesn't get rid of it, I'm going to take off that chip. Now I should be covering all this up here, but I'm going to angle the airflow this way, and I think I may get away with it. Right, so it's still shorting even if I take off this module here. Let's check the pads. Okay, so the pads are still shorting, so the next thing is to take off the chip itself. Now what I'm doing is I'm just putting the heat on this side of the chip, so hopefully then I won't burn this connector here. Remember the connector's already been slightly burnt anyway. Right, so you can see now we've still got the short there, yeah? So it's not linked to that chip. So again, we'll leave all these off. And let's try to find out, again, just for the purpose of learning, what is linked to this. So I'm just going to follow the traces. Right, so the bottom pad here should be shorting. Like on another board now, you will see that that one is actually supposed to short. But the top one shouldn't. And the top pad only goes to these ones here. Yeah? And then disappears. So where does that go to? I haven't got a clue. So again, it's just going to be a case of taking off various different different chips. So this one there. Oh, okay, that's short in there. That's good. Okay, and nothing else is, so let's take off this chip and see if that gets rid of the short. Wondering what my temperature is. It's 400 degrees Celsius and I've got it 6 out of 8 airflow. And I've been using the same for pretty much all the chips on the board. Right, let's check the pads now. Right, so we've still got a short there, so it's not that chip. And that capacitor's still shorting. Right, I'm going to take off these 3 chips here. I'll do it one by one. Not that one. No. No. Right, so let's take off the video chip, see if that does anything. Again, this won't be working, so if you're hoping to see a working switch, you're not going to see one. I just want to prove what that's where that short's originating from. Oh, actually, look, there's a whole load of shorts up here. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these components, get rid of these shorts, and that might fix it. I should have looked at that at the beginning, shouldn't I? So I've got rid of the solder blob from up there. It looks a bit of a mess, but they're not in contact with each other. So now let's see. Okay, so we're still shorting. Yeah, we're still shorting there. So I suppose we could take off the video chip, but when I was messing around up here, I did notice that, look, we've got a short yet again on that capacitor. So that the one above the video chip is not shorting. But we have got a short on that capacitor again. And none of these balls are touching here. I know the chip's been taken off, but they're not touching. Everything's shorting. Well, not everything, but that's shorting as well. And all the ones down here are shorting. They're shorting straight away as well. I wonder in this instance whether it's going to be the APU, but because that's the one that we can't reverse, let's try to let's take off this one next and see if that causes any difference. So we've still got a short there, still got a short up there, and we've still got the short on the original pad. Do you know what I'm going to do on this one? Rather than spend the next half an hour taking off all the chips, I'm going to go straight for the APU. Because of all the shorts underneath it. I think to begin with, just out of curiosity, I'm just going to make it reflow. So I'm just going to melt it all, give it a tiny little tap, make sure it's melted, and then we'll see if we've still got the shorts. If we have, we'll take this off, then see if we still have the shorts. More flux on, it's taken a bit of time. It's not coming up. I'm going to put my airflow up to max and my temperature up to max as well. So 480, 8 out of 8. Yeah, there we go. Right, that's reflowed. I'm just going to let that cool, and then if that makes no difference, then what we'll do is we'll completely remove it. So it's cooled for a few minutes. Let's try it now. No, they're still both shorting. Let's just do this little capacitor here. Yeah, that's still shorting, and the one here. Yeah, Right, and again, all these are shorting straight away. So let's completely take that APU out. Oh, I've got it all stuck. There we go. Right, so you can see the hundreds and hundreds of balls that's underneath that. Right, let's see now if that short's gone away. I'm thinking yes. No! No, it's still there! Wow, it's still there. I was sure it was going to be that. So what is causing that? Let's flip it over. Yeah, all those shorts are still there. Okay, well look, this is good, because it means now if you have that problem in the future, you don't have to worry about taking off the APU. Let's just keep on taking off chip after chip until we find where the fault disappears. I'm putting my temperature back to 400 Celsius and 6 out of 8 airflow. I'm not bothered about taking all the chips off, because remember, most of these are probably okay, and it means I can reuse them again in the future. So for me, it's definitely worth, if I need to take them off anyway, I might as well take them off now and try to understand a little bit more about the switchboard. Still got the short there. And there. And there. Yay, it's gone. It's gone. Right, so it was when I took off this little chip here that the short's gone. So let me just double check the other side, then we can zoom in. Okay, that's gone. And that's gone. And that's gone. Excellent, so every single short's gone when I took off this tiny little chip here that lives here. So that's great. This chip here. So yeah, okay. Do you know what? I'm gonna end the video there. Let's just recap what we did, because although I spent €200, I've definitely done some learning, and I think now this will help me fix switches in the future. Not just me, possibly other people as well. So we had a short on the capacitor here, which would make you automatically think this chip was faulty, but it wasn't, because we removed that, the short was still there. We then measured a short on the capacitor here, making you think that this chip is faulty, but it wasn't. So then we had a short on the capacitor here, here, the capacitor at the top here, and also the capacitor here, this one here. And they were all linked to this chip here, because as soon as we took off this chip, the shorts disappeared. Now, in theory, it could be something before this chip, and this chip is providing like, is passing the fault through, possibly. So if we were to replace that chip, there is a chance that you would still get shorts on here, but at least you've got a bit more to go on now. I reckon that it probably has emanated from here, or maybe one of the capacitors around here. Let's just check those capacitors. No, I think it was probably that chip itself. So yeah, now in the future I know that if I have a fault here, yes, straight away I probably would still do this chip here, but if it's not that one, I think I might start looking at this chip next, which is good. So that was definitely worthwhile. This board here I didn't actually do any fault finding on because the battery connector was gone here, so I don't know whether it's charging or not charging. Now, which one was it? This one here. This one here I thought was a really interesting one. So on this one here, remember we had a fault with the capacitor. The capacitor was shorting here. Now immediately you would think it was the video chip, but the previous person has already taken the video chip off. And then we had a short on the capacitor here, and also this one up here as well. You can see that this chip's been taken off, this has been taken off, this has been taken off. It's not linked to any of them. It was all linked to this internal memory one here. So basically it's something to do with this one here, which is causing a fault on, let's call it the video chip circuit, just purely because normally when you have a fault on there you change the video chip. So again, that is interesting. Now interestingly, when I reflowed this, it got rid of the fault on the capacitor here and the short on the capacitor here, but it kept the fault on the short on the capacitor here. Then I reflowed it again, and it got rid of the faults here, but it put the fault back on here. So obviously it looks like there's different circuits in here, which is responsible for going up to here, and this one here as well. So again, a learning curve. So basically now if I have a capacitor, a short on the capacitor there, first things I would do is take off, well the very first thing I would do is flip this off here. If the short remains, then hopefully it's a problem with the video chip. If the short goes, I wouldn't even bother messing around with the video chip, because you know then the fault's here. So those two things alone there, for me, is worth it, because that's definitely going to help future fault finding on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm really happy with that. And what happens with the other ones? Why haven't I done this one here? This one's not charging, and I don't think I've got anything to go on this one. I think everything is testing okay. So basically I've got nothing to do on this one. Yeah, this was the one that was shorting along here, I think. Yes. So I'm not going to mess with this. Do you know what? I've lost track of where I am now. I think I've changed the chips or something on it. A couple of these chips, it hasn't done anything. I've got nothing to fault find on here. It's not accepting the charge, and I've got no shorts on the capacitors and stuff apart from under the APU. So basically, yeah, I mean, as far as it's concerned, the boards were a load of junk, but they're not junk because of the spares available on them. So yeah, although you haven't seen a fix, and I've got a feeling a lot of people will not like this video, I really do believe that people who want to fix a Nintendo Switch may get a bit of use out of that video, purely because I sacrificed these boards in order to find those faults. Which is, you know, to help me, but by helping me it's also going to hopefully help others as well. That's it. So it was an expensive experiment, but still hopefully it will be of use somewhere to someone in the world. If you got any enjoyment from it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more Trying to Fix videos. Take care. Bye now.